O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me hore, O mani pe me O mani pe me hore, 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 O mani pe me
Tashi Delek, how are you? Welcome to Chenrezik. Okay. Okay, let's do the meditation. Okay, sit in a nice relaxed posture. And then expel the stale breath, the stale energy, the stale wind, the negative spirits from your body. To do that, breathe in light and breathe out. Breathe in light and then feel your body. Then in your mind, make sure to cultivate faith, devotion and bodhicitta, and then bring forth the vast aspiration of the bodhisattva, that is to think of all motherly sentient beings whose number pervade the vastness of space, that I'm going to bring all of these motherly sentient beings to the state of perfect and complete Buddhahood. In order to do so, I'm going to engage in the meditation and recitation of Chenrezik. Sangye Chedan Tsoke Chonam La Chancho Bardo Dani Chanson Che Dangi Gomde Gipe Senam Kindro Lai Penshe Sangye Dumbarcho. In the Buddha, Dharma, and the Noble Sangha, I take refuge until Buddhahood. Through the merit of meditation and recitation, may I accomplish Buddhahood to benefit sentient beings. Sangye Chedan Tsoke Chonam La Jangcho Barado Dani Chanson Che Dangi Gomde Gibe Senam Kindro La Penche Sangye Do Parasho Semjen Tamjen Dewa Dan Deve Judan Dembara Juru Che Dungal Dan Dungal Ge Judan Drewara Juru Che Dungal Mebe Dewa Dan Midrewara Juru Che Nering Chadang Dan Dralwe Tanyom Tseme Pala Nebara Juru Che. May all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that is devoid of suffering. May they rest in boundless equanimity, free from the partiality of desire and hatred to near and far. Simjin, Tomjin, Dewa Dan, Dewe, Judan, Dembara Jurche, Dungal Dan, Dungaige, Judan, Jawara Juruche, Dunga, Mebe, Dewa Dan, Midre Wara Juruche. Niring Chagdang Dan, Jalwe, Tanyom Semen, Pala, Nembara Juruche. Then here practice giving and taking. As you breathe out, you give. And as you inhale, you take. Then finally dissolve all concept of subject, object and action into non-dual great emptiness and rest in that state as long as you can. This is the absolute bodhicitta. And then when you arise from that state, then you can engage in the generation of the deity. Dan Song Kan Chai Sim Chingi Chi Tsu Pe Kar Da Wei Ting Shri Le Pak Choi Chenrezik Kar Se Zere Ngai Den To Ze Zung Tu Je Chingi Se Chai She Dang Po Tal Jarai Ze Om Ni Shel Chen Pe Karai Nam Dharai Dai Rin Chen Gen Ge Te Rin Dan Pai Pe Te Yo Se Pai Me Be U Gen Chen Shabni Doroje Kil Chon Shu Dhimenda Warai Jan Tembai Chamne Kindi Oroi Jur. Above the crown of all sentient beings is a white lotus with a moon seed, upon which is a three-syllable that arises as the Supreme Noble Chenrezik. He is luminously white and radiating out 5 color lights. He is handsome, smiling and gazing with eyes of great compassion. He has 4 arms, the 2 upper hands are joined in prayer gesture, while the 2 lower hands hold a crystal mala and a white lotus. He is adorned in silk and jewels and wearing a deer skin on his shoulder. His head is adorned with Buddha Amitabha on the crown. He is seated with 2 legs in the Orje Kiltron and resting his back on a stainless moon. He becomes the essence of the embodiment of all refuges. Jo Kenge Mage Kundo Kar Zo San Ge Ke Ula Gen Tuje Chenge Drola Ze Chenrezik Lai Chansen Jo Kenge Mage Kundo Kar Zo San Ge Ke Ula Gen Tuje Chenge Drola Ze Chenrezik Lai Chansen Jo Kenge Mage Kundo Kar Zo San Ge Ke Ula Gen Tuje Chenge Drola Ze Chenrezik Lai Chansen Jo Kenge Mage Kundo Kar Zo San Ge Ke Ula Gen Tuje Chenge Drola Ze Chenrezik Lai Chansen. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with a perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with a perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. O Protector, you are unstained by any fault. Your body is white in color. Your head is adorned with the perfect Buddha. You look unto beings with eyes of great compassion. I pay homage to you, Chenrezik. Kamba Chenrezik Wan Dan Choju De Sum Shungpa Yin Gelwa Seche Tamche La Kunne Dangwe Chanse Loi Me To Dukbe Marme Dri Shalze Rolmo La Sopa Nge Juro Yeke Trine Bin Pambe Tsoke Shesu Se Tomai Mene Date Bar Mige Chudan Nyingma Simne Nyingma Wangjur Ben Dikbai Tamche Shabaragi Ninte Range Janshu Sim Soso Kyo Laso Ben Disum Gewa Jesai Ben Senam Lani Daye Rang Semje Namge Samba Dang Loye Jedra Jetawa Chejon Tunmon Tekba Ye Cheke Korlo Kordo Sel Korwa Jesse Madomba Nyange Medai Tuje Ye Dungal Jansor Jingwa Ye Semje Namla Zexus Dagi Senam Chesamba Tamche Janshub Jurjur Ne Ringporo Meto Roa Ye Jimbe Beldon Da Juro Che. To the noble Chenrezik and to the 10 directions and 3 times, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, I pay homage with utmost respect. Flowers, incense, lamps and perfumes, food, drinks, music and so forth, I offer these in actuality and manifested through my mind. Please accept these assemblies of noble ones. From timeless beginning until now, all the 10 non-virtues and the 5 inexpiable actions, and my mind under the influence of afflictive emotions, I confess all of the negativities that I have committed. On the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and individual beings and others' virtues that they have accumulated, and will accumulate in the 3 times, and in the merit they have gained, I rejoice. According to the wishes of sentient beings, befitting the various capabilities of their intellect, on the vehicles of the greater, smaller, and common, I request you to turn the wheel of Dharma. Until cyclic existence is completely emptied, do not enter into nirvana. But with great compassion for those drowning in the ocean of suffering, I request you to look upon sentient beings. Whatever virtue I have accumulated, may it become a cause for Buddhahood. Without delaying further for all sentient beings, may I become the glorious one of the Liberator. Sawahade so lama Chenrezik Sawahade so idam Chenrezik Sawahade so Pacho Chenrezik Sawahade so Chamgen Chenrezik Sawahade so Chamgen Chenrezik Tuje Zeche Gewa Tuje Chen Tame Korwara Dangme Chamjuro Chezeme Dunga Nyongwe Dohwala Gumbo Kele Chamje Mache Sonam Ken Sangye Tombar Jingelo. I pray to you, Lama Chenrezik. I pray to you, Yidam Chenrezik. I pray to you, Supreme Noble Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of Refuge Chenrezik. I pray to you, Lord of loving kindness Chenrezik. O victorious, great, compassionate one, hold us with great compassion. Wandering countless lifetimes in endless cyclic existence, sentient beings have experienced unbearable suffering. They have no other refuge beside you, O Protector. Bless them to achieve omniscient Buddhahood. Sawahade so lama Chenrezik Sawahade so idam Chenrezik Sawahade so Pacho Chenrezik Sawahade so Chamgen Chenrezik Sawahade so Chamgen Chenrezik Tuje Zeche Gewa Tuje Chen Tame Korwara Dangme Chamjuro Chezeme Dunga Nyongwe Dohwala Gumbo Kele Chamje Mache Sonam Ken Sangye Tom Bar Jenge Lo Tom Dune Lenge Sape Tu Sheda Wangi Nye Warai Ke Jurute Tsadan Dunga Nyongwe Semchen Na Lai Cho Keke Dundu Ke Warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of anger gives birth in the hell realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of heat and cold be born in your presence, Supreme Deity. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Sape Tu Serene Wangi Indane Suke Te Kondunga Nyongwe Semchen Na Shing Cho Pota Laharu Ke Warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of greed gives birth in the hungry ghost realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of hunger and thirst be born in the supreme pure Ampatala. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om pe me hum. Om mani pe me hum. Om mani pe me hum. Om mani pe me hum. Tome dune lenge saipe tu te mo wange tu doro ke joro te lenko dunga nyongwe semchen Khenpo keke drundo ke warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of ignorance and stupidity gives birth in the animal realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of ignorance and stupidity be born in your presence, O Lord Protector. Om Mani Pe Me Hum. 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 Tome dune lenge saipe tu de chawange mi ye ne suke del pondungel nyongwe semchen Nam dewa chenge shingdu ke warasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of desire gives birth in the human realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of constant toil and poverty be born in Deva Chenpyo realm. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Saipe Tu Tado Wangi Shamine Suke Tabzendunga Nyongwei Sentient Nan Potalaye Shingdu Gewasho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of jealousy gives birth in the demigod realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of fighting and quarreling be born in Patala pure realm. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tome Dune Lenge Saipe Tu Ngage Wangi Slayene Suke Podong Dunga Nyong Shindu Kewarsho. Through the accumulation of negative karma from beginningless time, the force of pride gives birth in the God realm. May all sentient beings who are experiencing the torment of death and downfall be born in Patala pure realm. Om Hani Padme Hum. Om Mani 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 Padme Hum. Dani Kishin Kewa Tam Jendu Chenrezik Zebai Tsumba Ye Madai Shinge Donam Dorwa Dan Suncho Yigdru Chojuro Ge Barasho Pajo Kerla Sewa Dambe Tu Dagi Duljara Jurbe Rowa Nam Ledre Lule Gewe Lelaizen Ruwe Dendu Chedan Dembarasho. Through all of my lifetimes, may I, with the conduct similar to that of Chenrezik, liberate all beings from the impure realms. May the supreme speech of the 6 syllables spread in the 10 directions. By the power of fervent supplication to you, Supreme Noble One, may all beings who become the individuals to be tamed understand cause and effect and exert in virtue, and may they be endowed with the sacred dharma for benefiting beings. Dendara Zenjen Sendan Be Pambe Kule Wezerete Mada Lena Trusheja Chinen Dewa Jenge Shin Nangchu Kerro Lunga Sim Chenrezik Wang Kusung Nandra Rikton Ereme Jur. From praying like this one-pointedly, light radiates out from Noble One's body, purifying impure karmic appearance and deluded concepts. The outer world becomes Devachan pure Ram. The body, speech, and mind of beings within that pure Ram become the wisdom body, speech, and mind of Chenrezik. All sight, sound, and awareness become inseparable from emptiness. Om Mani Padme Hum Ri Om Mani Padme Hum Ri Om Mani Padme Hum Ri. Mani beme hundre, mani beme hundre, mani beme hundre. Mani beme hundre, mani beme hundre. Mani beme hundre, mani beme hundre, mani beme. Mani beme. Mani beme hundre. 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 Mani beme Mani beme hundre. Mani beme Mani beme hundre. 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 Mani beme Mani beme hundre. Mani beme hundre. Mani beme hundre. Mani beme Mani beme hundre. Dajen le nam pambe kun janja yingen robe ya. Dendo yeshe chenpo long. I and others who appear in form is the wisdom body of the Noble One. All reverberations of sounds are the melodies of the 6 syllables. All recollections and thoughts are the vast expanse of the supreme primordial wisdom. Gyawai diye nirdonda Chenrezik Drowai Chikchan Malupa diye sanla Gömbara Harsho. Through this merit may I quickly accomplish the powerful Chenrezik, without leaving a single sentient being behind. May they be placed into the state of Chenrezik. Den dorangum den gembe senam ke dai lai del to dro aikun me zan len den boro ai joro mai tha de wai chen du zu te ke warasho ke ma ta tu sa chu rab ne Tumbe chonchuru shenden jen barai sho. Through the virtue of performance of the meditation and recitation in this way, may I and all beings who are connected with me, as soon as this impure body is left behind, may we be born miraculously in Devachan. Having taken the birth there and traversing the 10 bhumis, may our emanations spread in the 10 directions and perform the benefit of others. The next part, Chenrezik, page 21. Visualize all sentient beings joined together with us with their body, speech and mind, engage in prostrating, paying homage, reciting the refuge and the Mani mantra, and cultivating faith, devotion, bodhicitta. So in one gesture, so everyone practices along with us. Think like that. Manam Khandan Nyambe Simjen Thamje Lama Sangye Rimbo Chela Chamsu Chewo Manam Khandan Nyambe Simjen Thamje Sangye Chedan Gende Namla Chamsu Chewo Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Lama Yedam Khandre Tsolai Chapsu Chewo Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Rangsim Tongsa Cheke Kulai Chapsu Chewo. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Lama, the precious Buddha. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma and the Sanghas. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in the hosts of Lamas, Siddhams and Dakinis. All motherly sentient beings equal to space take refuge in one's emptiness and luminous mind, Dharmakaya. Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Lama Sangye Rimboy Chenlai Chamsu Chewo Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Sangye Chedan Gende Namlai Chamsu Chewo Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Lama Yedam Khandre Tsolai Chamsu Chewo Manam Khandai Nyambe Simjen Thamje Rangsim Dongsa Cheke Kolai Chapsu Chewo Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum 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 Om Mani Padme Hum 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 Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum 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 Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum 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 Mani bime 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 Om mani bime hum 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 mani bime Om mani bime hum mani bime hum mani bime hum. Page 23. Lendan lomboro kenle jumbai ye dendan nedan jumbai tsewa so Simche yemen dewe nenam kun jiten kamso jungwara majurochi Jidara shime tribe sejajen keche chilai lusem drojebe Soto neke dunga jine par jiten kamso jungwara majurochi Chindai shinje kanai tsuban darai neke mingzam tepe drajebe Ninche bandan tabe rimsoi ke lechen kunlai nebara majurochi Nebe gegre tongchai gechundan loboro yedro sumjai druchundan Shija zaje nenlai sobai ye lechen kunlai tewara majurochi Lusem de wai malu toje be jongje tobe dunga jineba Malu shejen dando dembai dan tere neme deke dembarasho Lama kenjo sumge toje dan kandro chechon sume nutu dan Lede luwa mebe dendoke Ngowa malam tabse dro barasho. Page 23. A reason from the karma and adventitious conditions. The demonic attack, diseases, and harm from spirits and so forth. All of the illnesses that discomfort the minds of sentient beings. May they never rise in the realm of these worlds. Like the animals herded by a butcher to the slaughterhouse, in an instant their bodies and minds will be separated. Likewise, however many suffering there might be of illness that take lives away, may they never rise in the realm of this world. Like those who have fallen in the mouth of the Shinje, the Lord of Death, those who are terrified merely by the name of illness, the plagues that torment for a day or constantly, may they never harm any sentient being. May the 80,000 types of harmful spirits, the 360 adventitious negative forces, and the 404 types of diseases not harm any sentient being at all. That which robs of the happiness and comfort of the body and mind, whatever kind of suffering of the imbalances of the four elements, may they be pacified and may beings have lustre and power. May they live long, have peace and happiness and be free from illness. By the great compassion of the three rare precious jewel lamas, by the blessings and power of the Dakinis, Dharmapalas and protectors, and by the power of the truth of the unfailing cause and result, may all measures of dedications and aspirations that are wished here be accomplished. Through this merit may I attain all-knowing omniscience, and may all enemies of defilements be vanquished. May all sentient beings pounded by the turbulent waves of birth, aging, sickness, and death be liberated from the ocean of cyclic existence. Just as the heroine Manjushri realized, and Samantabhadra too, I will train in their examples and perfectly dedicate all of these virtues. All of the conquerors of the three times, in whichever way they supremely praise dedication, I too will perfectly dedicate all of my roots of virtue for the excellent conduct. May the supreme precious Bodhicitta arise in whom it has not arisen. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but may it prosper more and evermore. Okay, so this is how you practice Chenrezik. So today is Saturday, and then there are people who have asked questions, so I'll try to answer. Let's see what the questions are. So the question here says, how do we bring our practice off the cushion? In our Chenrezik, it mentions that all those who appear, all I and others who appear in form are the wisdom body of Chenrezik, like that. That is the post-meditation way of how we need to adopt. And all reverberations of sounds are the melodies of the 6 syllables. Excuse me. And then likewise says, all recollections and thoughts are the vast expanse of the supreme primordial wisdom. So I guess your question is from the point of how we integrate, by practicing Chenrezik, and how we integrate our practice in day-to-day life. So practitioners they cultivate these 3 things. They are called the adoptions, the 3 adoptions. Whatever they perceive, whatever is seen through the eyes as image or form or color, lights, shape, size, and so forth, they perceive as the wisdom deity's appearance, or the form, the wisdom body of the deity. And then whatever they hear through their ears, they see that or they hear that as mantras, the ceaseless echoes, or the melodious, unceasing sound of wisdom speech or mantra, that is wisdom speech. And then all thoughts, like in our mind, whatever arises in our ordinary habitual manner we would say good thoughts, bad thoughts, nice thoughts, not nice thoughts, and whatever arises. No exception. Everything that rises in our mind, these practitioners, they cultivate the adoption that everything is the miraculous play of wisdom mind. Everything is within the state of the wisdom mind. That's what they cultivate. And that is the commitment that they stick onto. It's not just like conceptual thinking that, oh, everything is wisdom form, everything is wisdom speech, everything is wisdom mind, and so forth. Not intellectually. They actually manifest or actualize. So in this way, then the margin, the delineation of practice and not practicing is dissolved. So just like us, when we are on a meditation cushion, then we think of all sentient beings and talk about compassion, loving kindness, bodhicitta, faith, devotion, deity, mantras, and so forth. But then soon as we rise from the cushion, then we engage in our ordinary habit, like we are vanquished or we are overpowered by our mental afflictions, that we immediately engage in generating passion or all those six poisons or the afflictions like that. So that means we are not cultivating those three adoptions. So, but practitioners, they make the commitment. Of course, they cannot do it always, but after they have lost or after they have failed to adopt that, then they catch themselves. Oh, I'm being carried away. And then immediately they do the confessions. And then they make the commitment, next time I will be more mindful, I'll be more alert, vigilant. I'll have more awareness, or I will be more alert. That's how they say, how they make the commitment and then they engage in practice. That's how the bodhisattvas, how the Buddhas, how practitioners have done that, and then they have mastered that. Buddha's teaching says, do not cultivate non-virtue whatsoever. Cultivate positivity or virtue perfectly and tame your mind completely. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So we need to vanquish our mind. We need to tame our mind completely. So that's how you do. So bring it to your day-to-day life. Compassion, being loving, kind, joyful, compassionate, tolerant, wise, skillful, like that. So implement that. So not just being kind of very serene and peaceful, pretending on the cushion like that, and then when you wake up from the cushion and then you are an ordinary person again. And in the teachings it is mentioned like a sheath, like a blacksmith, when they feed the iron in the charcoal, the fire, then it's molten red hot inside there. and then soon as you take out and then leave outside, then it becomes like cold, so it starts to become cold, and that molten the iron that was about to melt, when you take out, it starts to become cold and colder and colder. Later it becomes solid metal like that. So not like that. So when you are in the fire or when you're in meditation, you pretend as if you are like that molten iron, and then when in your post-meditation, you're completely the opposite. You're very hardened, tempered, steel-like mindset, untamed, wild, like that. That shouldn't be the case. So you bring that mindfulness at all times, just like how you were trying to cultivate love and compassion in your meditation. Likewise, when you're in your post-meditation, you cultivate love and compassion, being mindful, not to let your afflictions overpower. So, if annoyance or irritation rises, immediately you can catch yourself. These are negativities that I shouldn't be engaging. I should abandon this, and rather I should cultivate love, kindness, compassion, joy, and so forth. So this is the way of how one needs to train. There is no way other than that. Great practitioners, they struggled just like how we are struggling now, and then they mastered, they perfected, and they liberated. They became Buddhas, like liberated from samsara, because they worked through all of those. So we also can do that. So that's what the Buddha taught. So whatever aspects that you have heard, learned, read, practice, and so forth, then you need to bring forth in the day-to-day life, and then put it into practice, put it into action. Okay. Next question: how do we venerate Dharma text? That's a very good question. In the refuge precepts, the refuge training, or the taking refuge in the Dharma, what we need to abandon is abandoning the harm of sentient beings. It says, taking refuge in the Dharma, we should harm all sentient we should abandon the harm of all sentient beings, or towards sentient harm towards sentient beings. That is the precept of what we need to abandon. The next one is the precept of what we need to cultivate, is taking refuge in the Dharma. Then we need to consider each and every word, each and every script, each and every letter as the actual Dharma. That is the practice. Because Buddha said, in the final degeneration time, I will appear in the form of scriptures. I will appear in the form of letters, like that. So this precept of the refuge, these are just the basic precepts of when one enters into the Buddha path. This is the general precept. So you need to respect the Buddha's teachings, the words, and so forth. In the West, it is very difficult, because we have printed materials everywhere, in newspapers, in magazines, in books, and so many places. we have postcards, we have pictures and posters and so on and so forth like that. So very hard. When you see too much, it's overwhelming, and then we don't even think of taking care of those. And then those books and when we say that it applies to the images of the Buddha, the scriptures of the Buddha, the words of the Buddha, the teachings of the Buddha, the scriptures, the volume scriptures, or the texts of the Buddhas, these are all referring to that one. So we need to respect as the actual speech, the actual Buddha, like that. And in the refuge it says, if it is fallen in a very poor, like filthy place, you take it up from there and then you keep it in a nice, clean place, like that. So in the West we have Buddha statues in the toilet, in the bathroom, in the restroom. We have Buddha's statues scattered all over on the floor, mixed together with all our other worldly things. And likewise, our Dharma texts, the scriptures of the Buddhas, are all mixed together with our ordinary books. The books that talk about how to get better in this life, and to do so you have to forsake all other, those abandoning of non-virtue and cultivation of virtue and so forth. You have to completely ignore all of those books that teach about just to fare well in this life. Buddha's teachings don't do that. Buddha's talk about how it can bring the temporal benefit and the ultimate happiness. So because we don't know how to discern these things, books and Dharma books, scriptures, holy books like sacred Dharma, are mixed together with our ordinary books, newspapers, magazines, and so forth, scattered everywhere. Hard to take care of them because we don't engage in that precept. So, yeah, in this modern time, those kind of things happen. We have like pictures of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and Lamas and so forth in magazines, so much that you don't know what to do, and then you just have to toss it in the garbage, like that. What a sad thing to do. That you'd always keep good care of the pictures of Buddhas and deities and so forth. If people see that in the East, they would, if it appears in a magazine and so forth, they'll cut those pictures from the magazine and then just dispose the magazine if it appears in magazines like that. Sometimes just as an exotic advertisement in a magazine, there might be a picture of a bodhisattva or a Buddha or some those kind of things, and then they'll just cut that and then take it out from that magazine and then keep it in their house. So in the West, since it's so abundantly printed and published and so forth. It's hard to take care. So, but whatever you have, you try to take good care of it. Don't buy if you can't take care. Don't print if you cannot take care. So if you have it, if you own it, then maintain good practice of keeping it clean and nice and shelving it in a nice clean place, not mixed together with your ordinary things. This is also a sign of how we respect, how we appreciate Dharma, how we can discern holy texts versus ordinary writings or ordinary books. So, and then if you can take care of it, there are lamas or practitioners who can teach you how to dispose them of in a beneficial way. You can do that. So, to venerate the Dharma text here, I'm just mentioning about how to take care of that. That is veneration. That we pay equal respect as if that is the actual word. Those are the actual words. So we respect like they are the actual live words of the Buddha, the live speech of the teachings of the Buddha. So we don't throw them away. We just take this and then put it on top of a table or bookshelf like that in a nice way. It is also mentioned that the Dharma teachings, the sacred Dharma teaching is actually higher than any other. We don't place stupas on top of the text. We don't place Buddha statues on top of the text because the texts are actually higher than the image and then the wisdom mind representation of the Buddha. So therefore, we don't place our vajra on those kind of things on the scripture. So that's how you venerate. Then if you have collections of scriptures, the Buddhist teachings and so forth, you can organize them nicely, put it on a shelf. Then in front of the shelf, then you can light candles, offer incense, flowers, and water offerings, and so forth like that. So just here in our case, we have the shrine here and the scriptures here like that. Because the scriptures represent the wisdom speech of the Buddha. So they are worthy of veneration. The statues and pictures of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas represent the wisdom body of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So we venerate them. And likewise we have stupas and vajras and other, like Vajra Kilaya or the Vajra, we say Vajra Kila, all of those as the wisdom mind representation of the Buddhas, and then we venerate. So similarly like that, you can venerate, you can take good care of your texts, you can perfume them, you can make light offerings, incense offering, water offerings, flower garlands, and decorate like that. So that's a good practice. So that's a good question. Especially hard to maintain in the West, but it is possible to practice. Next question, is awareness of one's awareness helpful? Is awareness of one's awareness helpful, or is it an error in our practice? Awareness of one's awareness. Should you just focus, or should we just focus on practice alone without tracking one's developing awareness? Awareness of one's awareness. Awareness of, you're talking about mindfulness, I guess. Mindful of mind. Mindful of what mind is doing, I guess. The word is awareness, but in a general Buddhist teachings, we would use mindfulness or awareness, alertness, like that. Mindfulness is what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing. That is mindfulness. Being mindful of what you should do and what you should abandon. That's mindfulness. Awareness is just like alertness, that you are alert when things come. You catch yourself. Being careful, being always on the vigilant, always looking out for anything that will come. So we in the practice is also called like a spy. Being watchful of what's going to happen or what's happening. That's mindfulness. That's awareness. So in the general teaching, that's what it's mentioned. And then in the Dzogchen, awareness is different. Awareness is the pure aspect of our mind. Awareness is the nature, the luminous aspect of the mind. Awareness. Being wakeful, being brilliant, being wise, being smart, being focused, one-pointed, concentrated, let's say, like that. That's awareness. That's the aspect of mind. But ordinary people have mind, but they don't have awareness. With that mind, they create passion. They give rise to the habit. They follow along the habit. They engage in action, speech, and thoughts, which are called karma. And karma, good karma, bad karma, like that. So that mind that has no clarity, mind that has no wisdom or isn't wise, it isn't smart or focused. Like that. So to have awareness is very good. In whichever level you're practicing according to the Sutrayana or the general Buddhist tradition, being always vigilant what's going around your surroundings. If your mind is about to generate some kind of negativity or some kind of unkind thought, malicious intentions, negative intentions, or impure thoughts, then mindfulness is very important. Your awareness. And then when you have awareness, then you're mindful, then you are focused, you can do it. So there's no obstacle. Then in the higher teachings, that mindfulness or that awareness is very, very important. You have to recognize it as the pure aspect of your mind, knowing that mind is empty, knowing that mind is luminous. In the Chenrezik we recited that may all material sentient beings as vast as space take refuge in one's emptiness and luminous mind, Dharmakaya. So like that. So shouldn't lose awareness. So practice awareness. From whichever level, it is always good. Awareness has to be there. Depending on your practice, the awareness will transform. Awareness will become non-conceptual. So, but you have to start from the ground level. You cannot directly go thinking, oh, I want to just non-conceptualize, because we have been habituated with concept for so many countless lifetimes that we can remember, We have been in that habit of concept, so it's hard to let go immediately. So therefore we need to be always awake, having awareness that, so it won't cause any kind of obstacles. While you're practicing, you have to have awareness, like doing Chenrezik. Bring the awareness that our innate nature is inseparable from Chenrezik. If you don't have awareness, then you are more like stones and sticks. You're more like you're sleeping. You're dull. There's no wakeful the wisdom aspect not there. So you have to implement awareness. We are using the pure aspect of our mind, being always aware that mind and our habits are all conceptual. The true nature of our mind is empty but radiant, appearing yet empty, awareness yet empty. So to bring those kind of awareness, it's very helpful. So you should cultivate that. Okay, next one is, what is the view of assisting with the death if the being is in fear and possible pain? My dog of 12 years is having episodes with breathing and gets very distressed with a bleeding ulcer. Chenrezik practice. So yes, you can do Chenrezik practice, pet your dog or your pet, or here you're talking about your dog. So everybody can sense the purity of your heart. So when we are doing Chenrezik practice in front of them, then with that purity in your heart and saying prayers, that this process of what we call dying, this process in a meditative way, it is called the disintegration of our elements. Our body consists of 4 elements: earth, which is flesh; water, which is our blood; fire, which is our heat; wind, which is our breath. So these 4 came together, harmonized, and then became big. Now, after a point, they start to collide onto each other. They they start to collide, or they start to negate. The disruption starts to happen, and that is what is called as the process of aging and sick, and then getting sick and then dying, like that. So now you see that process for your dog is happening, and then you can pray to Chenrezik, to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, whomever that you pray to, and then you invoke the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that the light comes and then strikes onto the body and the mind of your pet, your dog, so that this process of the separation, the contradiction, the collision of the elements is not painful, not as painful, so he or she can endure it easily. This is called suffering, because dying is not like dissolving in thin air. Dying is the process of the mind and the body separating, parting. The relationship between the body and mind is very, very, very strong. It's very intimate. Just like how we are connected with somebody when we fall in love or we have attachment, and that separation brings pain. Similarly, like that, there is this intimacy between the body and the mind, that the separation becomes very, very painful. We can already feel that pain like that. So they're going through that, and then you can generate great compassion, and using your dog as an example, or that as a situation, you can take all the suffering of samsara, dissolving in that experience, that may all suffering of samsara, of aging, sickness and death, be all dissolved, that not even the name of such suffering ever remain in this earth, in this universe, in samsara, like that. So then you can recite Chenrezik mantra, you can play teachings, like soothing teachings, not loud music like that, because they are very sensitive. So you can play chantings from the lamas, like beautiful chanting, beautiful music, and chanting, and so then they are peaceful, and then they can transition from there. And then if their mind is at peace, naturally they will dissolve a lot of karma with that pain. They'll dissolve a lot of karma with that pain, and then they will purify all the karma, and then in their next life they will take rebirth in the pure realms of Chenrezik, Guru Rinpoche, Buddha Amitabha, Mother Tara, Medicine Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, Manjushri, and whichever pure realm that you're aiming. So practice like that, and then be together with the animal as long as you can. Always, be very kind and loving and gentle. It's like the last phase or the last part of their life. So I'll just say dedicate or spend your life with them. Spend or be generous with your time with them. Practice, and then make aspirations, and then as they die, if you have lamas, medicine and so forth, you can dilute in water, in their food, you can dilute it so that they drink and do those. That's a very good practice. This is the practice, this is the conduct of a practitioner to help those that are connected with you in the process of when they are suffering, or when they are in pain or in misery, or when they are dying. So this is the reason why we practice Dhamma. When we are doing Chenrezik, you can let your dog or your pet who are dying or who are in the process of this listen to the chanting, and then you can chant along. That they have more keen faculty than us, because our mind is so much saturated with unnecessary things, so they can sense. And this is called the generosity of Dhamma. You are sharing the Dhamma teachings with them, and then helping them prepare this transitioning. So their condition, their physical condition, or their, like you were saying, bleeding and so forth, then just along with their breathing, like their breathing becomes very hard and loud and so forth, you can do Tonglen. As you hear their breathing, then you can just, like, when they're breathing in, you take the suffering of all sentient beings. Then when they breathe out, then you give all your happiness and joy, and you focus this sentient being, and then you give your good health, your experience of happiness. then you will understand practice works. Okay, I guess that's all. So, yeah, read prayers, whatever you have, like passages from Bodhisattva Charya or aspirational prayers, whatever you know, read. You read softly, melodiously, gently, clearly. You can also read the Tibetan Book of the Dead to them. And then recite mantras, chant along, rather than playing music and so forth. At this time, I think it's better that you chant, or you can play if you don't have the chantings in CDs or those kind of things. I see there a lot on YouTube or online. You can play those. If you can find those, then you can just chant Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Buddha mantra, Mother Tara mantra, Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Swaha, or Vajra Guru mantra, Om Ahum Vajra Guru Pema Siddhi Hum. So, like that. Or medicine Buddha mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaishajaya Guru Veduraya Prabharajaya Tathagate Arahate Samak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vaishajaya Vaishajaya Maha Vaishajaya Raja Samukate Swaha Om Vaishajaya Vaishajaya Maha Vaishajaya Raja Samukate Swaha Om Vaishajaya Vaishajaya Maha Vaishajaya Raja Samukate Swaha. Tuje kunna nyumbe jomdende chendamde mengen rodunga sento sumdese sangye menge la vedu raiva la chansalo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaishajaya Guru Vedura Prabharajaya Tathagata Arahate Samak Om Vaishajaya Vaishajaya Maha Vaishajaya Raja Om Vaishajaya Vaishajaya Maha Vaishajaya Raja Samagata Swaha Sentient Nepa Jinepa Yudhanile Tarjuja Trohe Nene Malupa Tautu Juwa Me Parsho Kevadi Neda Damenge Kalpa Drujurne Drowa Chichamale Teye Sala Go Barasho Tuje Kunla Nyambe Shomdende Cenzam de Bengen Rutung Sintu Somne Sasangi Bengen Vedura Ki Tashi Sho. Okay, so like that, and then you can do dedication. Sonam de Chenrezik Practice Tomne Nebe Janam Pamje Shin Kegan Nachi Banon Tubai Sidbe Solen Drova Show Jambel Pawo Jindar Kembandan Kundo Zambo Deyan Dejin Dendan Kungi Jeson Damage Gewa de Dam Tamje Rabdungo de Sum Shekper Gewa Tamje King Gana Chontu Napate Dage Gevet Sama Depech Zambo Cheche Rabdu Ngorgi Jangshu Semcho Rimboche Maki Panam Kejurchi Kepanyam Pameba Gone Gondo Pevarasho Jangshu Semdan Midr Jing Jangshu Chala Shalvana Sangenam Ki Yonsonshu Dukelena Bombasho Jangshu Sembanam Kid Roden Tula Gondosho Gombo in Gangomba Semjenam La Dejosho Semjendam Chedenan Dejurchi Ngendro Tamjen Dado Tombasho Jangshu Sembaganda Sanjo Deda Kunge Melam Drumbara Sho Namke Tato Taye Semjengo Mabeshin the Kusum Gonjul Pamado Du Semche Malupa Chamche Deme Sala Chumbar Sho Tata Benzadre Awa Bodana Yesoha Halalaho Emaho everybody. Stay well everybody, take good care. This is a very, very special month. So it's the month the Buddha Shakyamuni descending from the Tushita heavens back to the human world. So please engage in practice. Okay. Take care and good night. Bye bye.